Hello and welcome back to Color Code, a series where we explore different illustrative coloring styles and see what makes them tick. When I was deciding which artist's style to cover next, it became clear that this was going to be a hard decision to make. I follow so many amazing artists and there's way more than I can even count still out there. And I'm going to have to pick only one to cover. That was until I remembered I follow Slither. Look at this. Known as Slitherbop on Twitter, this artist's work exemplifies a grim, stained glass textilistic, perfectly condensed collage of contrast and color. Also, he likes Kid Cosmic, which is another plus in my book. Slither's work carries with it a painterly style, formed in mostly geometric shapes. I mentioned stained glass and textiles because of the way he chose to use these shapes within the characters depicted and the spaces they inhabit. Large open areas within the character's design would be filled with swooshes and patterns and colors that, when pressed up against the complex outer area, creates a continuous mashup of colors that mix and meld with each other and yet are separated by larger chunks of geometry that keeps everything neat and orderly. When asked how they decide what colors to use in their pieces, Slither responded by saying, "Colors have an emotion, a mood, an aura. When you're coloring, you feel it. It's loud, it's subtle, it's anything. You feel soft, you can draw soft. You can be edgy, you can do that. Whenever I'm coloring, I'm channeling a feeling." They said a lot more than that, but I'm going to have to cover those points in other videos. So, for today, I'm going to try my hand at doing something based off of Slitherbop's style. Something small, just ahead. I'm not sure how he builds his art up, if he sketches out every single piece or if he just wings it completely, but since this is an inspired by piece, I'll just go about it my own way. One thing I really like about their style is their heavy use of black. I personally love using black for contrast and indicating moody shadows. It seems they used 3 different pens to go about the lines: a crayon pencil textured pen, a smooth ink, and a straight grass pen. I call it grass because of the multiple lines, like you're dragging multiple blades of grass across the page. For this version though, I only managed to use a bigger soft marker and a textured pen, but that's good enough for me. Skipping ahead to the coloring process, this part was a little difficult. I wanted to capture the moody purples and greens that are usually mixed into his pieces. They give an almost foggy tone to his colors, but instead I leaned into mixing the greens lightly into a mostly orange and pink palette. Around the shirt, I realized some darkness would have to be introduced into the piece so as to avoid losing the face and hands details to an equally vibrant background. Slither uses darkness to their advantage, creating a detailed frame so other colors, even in low saturation, can pop out. At this point, I suddenly remembered what I said about patterns and geometric shapes, so I decided to add a little bit of that into the background with a square that connects to that shaded part of the shoulder. Messing around with overlays also helps to add a bit of extra patterns and colors in places where there's already an established palette, like how you can get the vibrant, almost neon orange of the flower while keeping the cloudy texture from the square below. A small amount of 3-dimensionality doesn't hurt either. Finally, with Slither's work, there's a small amount of messiness involved, like doodles and extra highlighted lines to keep the eyes engaged. Overall, it just feels fun. And there we have it. It's definitely lacking the exact Slitherbop touch, and the color choices still feel like my own favorites, but that's exactly the point. Learning through emulation doesn't mean you copy someone else's work to the exact. It's applying the aspects you like from them into your own self-expression. The piece you make should still very much be yours, while saying, "I love what you do to the artist you're emulating." You wouldn't want to throw away your own self to pretend to be someone else, would you? After all, you're worth so much more than you might think. Thank you for watching this episode of Color Code. If you have any suggestions, thoughts, general feelings of malaise, I'd love to hear from you. Till next time, see you later!